When I think about the South, I think about real good down-home cooking. I think about real good Southern hospitality. So today on our show, we're doing all the foods that are considered as Southern cuisine. So stay by. Welcome you. I'm Paula Akins, and
are you going to introduce me, or?
Okay, and this is my husband, Curtis Akins.
Thank you very much.
And Curtis and I are the hosts of the Abundant Living series, and one of the things that we're going to be doing today is Southern cooking.
Southern
and
cooking.
I really like the Southern cooking, earthy foods.
Okay.
You know.
Now, should we be talking Southern style, like Southern cooking?
No, we should not be talking.
I mean, we can do that.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
I'm from Philadelphia, and Curtis is from
Cleveland.
And we
That's
just
Cleveland, Ohio, not Cleveland, Tennessee.
We reside in the South, okay? Okay, and because of that,
okay,
one of our very first recipes that we're going to be doing today is actually a Southern collard green.
Hey, let's
so
go to the recipe.
We're going to look at the ingredients on this one.
Okay.
It calls for 1 to 2 pounds of collard greens, 4 cups of water, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 cup of onions chopped, 3 tablespoons of Bragg's liquid aminos, 1 medium green pepper chopped, 1/2 cup of soy bako bits. Okay. All right, now.
Collard greens right here.
Collard greens, a real Southern tradition.
Now, people in the North eat collard greens too, right?
All over the place do. And the thing I think is so amazing is that people are so used to fixing normally collard greens with pork. And a lot of times when we try to make these changeovers to the vegetarian diet, we discover that we don't want to look at those foods we used to eat because we're not sure how to season them up right. So that's why they're watching this show today.
Okay.
Because we're going to show
a whole
them
lot of stuff.
Yeah, how to do that. We're going to be using some different ingredients that maybe you've seen before, maybe not. But I'm going to tell you right now, these collard greens are going to be absolutely knocked down, drag out good.
Okay, now knock down, drag out, that means, for those who are not familiar with that type of language.
Explain it to them.
That means good.
That means real good.
That means real good.
Okay.
Knock down and drag out.
That's
now,
right.
no Mr. Oink Oink in this one,
no,
right?
No. And when you buy your collard greens, they have them sometime already pre-torn up inside a package, which is already pre-washed ahead of time. Okay. Regardless of what they say about the pre-wash, I always wash them again anyway, just in case. Just in case. Yeah, well, no, but I want to be my own judge of that. Okay. Now in this, we have our water already boiling, getting ready. So I'm going to just take it, and what we're going to do here, Curtis, is we got onions and also bell peppers that are going to go in this. Okay.
We need to chop this up.
And you're going to go ahead and chop that up, and I'm going to just start putting the collard greens into the pan. Okay. And they've already been washed. They've already been chopped up.
Want me to start chopping up the
onion?
Onion first. Okay.
And
don't we have an onion chopper? Wouldn't that be better?
Yes, you're the onion chopper. Didn't you know that?
No, maybe you didn't understand my question.
No, I did understand your question.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'm putting these in while Curtis chops up that onion. That's what
I do it manually this time.
And we always just kind of, you know, greens are full of water, and as a matter of fact, they have a lot of water, and these are going to actually cook down, believe it or not. Okay. We want to use a little bit amount of water in this. And also, along with that, I like to put my seasonings in. And I'm using an onion powder and a garlic powder in the seasoning. And also, I'm going to use the Bragg's. Now, you can use the Bragg's liquid at the end for the seasoning. It's going to be like more like taking the place of the salt or not. But I'm going to go ahead on and put in the seasoning now on top.
Now, let's talk about that Bragg's liquid aminos. That may be new to a lot of individuals watching this program for the first time, or maybe not familiar with Bragg's liquid aminos.
Okay, and that's exactly what it is. It's, if you think of soy sauce, then it's actually like a soy sauce, but it's actually made from a protein base, which is like soy is also, but it's made from a protein base. And some people prefer to have the Bragg's aminos to soy sauce. In this recipe, I want that smoked hickory flavor because we're not using pork and all that stuff, so we got to mimic that. That's where that Southern hospitality comes from as well. So this is going to start up.
do have less sodium than...
No, it has the same amount of sodium, teaspoon for teaspoon, as light soy sauce.
Or as light soy sauce.
Right,
okay.
so it doesn't make a difference
Okay.
as far as that goes. I'm going to put this on real quick while we finish up the rest of the part of that, because we've got a couple things here. Number one is I have olive oil that I'm going to be putting in also as well. Now, you don't have to put the olive oil in, but once again, in collard greens, there's some type of an oil base. We're not using any kind of foods that you don't need to have, like the pork, for instance, like I said earlier. So we're going to use that olive oil, or you can use canola oil in this recipe as well. And we're going to be using this, I'm going to just show this to you while Curtis is chopping those bell peppers up. This, believe it or not, it looks just like it might be bacon bits, but it's not. It's actually soy. It's smoked soy bacon bits. And we're going to put that in for that hickory flavor at the end of our program, all right?
Okay. Now, you can get that at health food stores?
Regular stores. You can get that actually at any of your regular supermarkets. Okay, you can get that.
Soy bacon bits. Okay.
Soy bacon bits. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the onions and the bell peppers in with this also as well. And then we're going to just let it start simmering down somewhat while we are moving to the next recipe. So as soon as Curtis gets done with that, I'm going to open this up.
So you're waiting on me, right?
Yes, indeed.
Well, I'll tell you what.
We're going to go ahead on, as a matter of fact.
I am now finished.
You are finished. And we're going to just go ahead and scrape that on top. Then how about that?
Okay.
Okay.
And let's go ahead and... Everything's going inside?
Yep.
Just like this,
yep,
huh?
just go ahead.
Okay.
We want the seasoning to get in.
For this.
That's fine.
That's all right.
Want to get that seasoning in and on top of those greens so they can taste good. All right? All right. And we're going to just move that around a little bit. One last one.
Okay.
Okay. And when they see this later on, they're going to be surprised at how this is going to actually shrink down. It's not going to hardly be a lot in there.
So the water in the collard greens will help cook that?
Yeah, there's water in the greens itself.
Okay.
And then there's water already in my pan.
Okay.
So this is going to come up high. It's going to begin to actually boil, and then we're going to turn it down low, all right? Okay. You can put the oil in, like I said before, at the end. Because we're doing television, why don't we just go ahead on and put the oil on now? That way we won't forget it later. We're going to go ahead and put the water in. I hear it down there making that boiling sound. All right.
Now, this is on low first or high?
Well, you want to bring it to a boil first.
Oh, okay, bring it to a boil.
We're going to hold off on those two right there.
Okay.
We're going to put our lid on top. And I'm going to tell you, one of the things that used to happen, I remember, even though we talked about the South, I remember when we used to fix the collard greens in North Philadelphia where I live. And I remember a lot of people would say things like, you know, collard greens are so hard to fix. They take a long time to cook. And they'll put baking soda in it because baking soda helps to break the leaf down. But it also strips the vitamins and nutrients out of the collard greens themselves. And because these are earth foods, that the Creator God has made, we don't want to destroy or change their personality. So do not put baking soda in the collard greens. Also, one of the things I discovered too, Curtis, is that when people plant collard greens, they usually plant them around the middle of the summer, and then they say when the first frost hits them, it makes them more tender and sweeter to taste. All right? Okay. And so that's what you're looking for.
Okay. You have so much information. I'm so glad I'm married to you. I mean, all this information you just bubbling over here. I just really appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Now, you know, another recipe that also is one of the foods that we, the Southerners use and we use also in our home, and that is that people like stuff like biscuits and gravy, or if they like steak with gravy on top of it. Well, we have a steak, but not the one you're thinking about, Susan. We're making a mushroom steak. I was going to say pepper steak. But we're making a mushroom steak, and this mushroom steak is going to be really, really nutritious. It's very, very healthy. So we're going to actually look at the recipe on this one. Okay. It calls for 1 can of mushrooms. That's an 8-ounce can. It calls for 1 medium onion chopped, 1 tablespoon of McKay's beef style seasoning, 1 cup of instant oats, 1 cup of old-fashioned oats, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 teaspoon of canola oil, 1 can of mushroom soup, 15 ounces, and 1/2 cup of water, 2 tablespoons of vegan Parmesan alternative. Now, this is really a very good recipe, and it takes the place of steaks per se. We're going to make it vegetarian style because you know on our program, Abundant Living, we do all foods from the earth, foods from the Creator God.
Abundant Living, that's
once again, the foods that the Creator God has given us is so beautiful because we got the green, we made the collard greens, or they're still cooking on the stove, and now we're going to make this brown mushroom steak, and it's going to be a brown color with a smothered in gravy like people love when they're in the South. And then I'm not going to tell you right now what we're going to do, but we are doing a special dessert on this program as well.
Have to have a dessert. Okay.
We have 2 things in here. Number one is I have 1 cup of instant oats, and then I have 1 cup of regular old-fashioned oats.
Okay.
And the instant oats is what's going to help to give us that coagulation we need to have, because we're not using any eggs, as you know, in this product at all. And then also we're using the mushrooms, and we're going to keep the sauce, the actual liquid that comes in with that, so we can make sure that we have everything. And Curtis, if you will, chop that onion up for me.
The onion.
It's going to go in there as well. And this is one of those recipes that's really good. Now, we also have seasonings, and if you notice, once again, we had talked about the different kind of seasonings that's going to go on this, and we're using onion and garlic powder, and also Curtis is doing a chopped onions. I'm looking at, okay, McKay's beef-style seasoning, which is not really beef. It's actually a mock beef that we're actually using in this particular product, okay? You can find it. It's put out by a company called McKay's. And also, there's another couple companies out there, too, that does it as well. But these are mock
they also put out chicken-style seasoning, is that correct?
Chicken-style as well.
And that does not have any chicken?
No chicken in it
No
whatsoever.
chicken at all. Okay.
All right? And I'm going to go ahead on and get my skillet ready to go by just putting in a little bit of my olive oil, or you can use canola oil, because we're going to actually take and make steaks out of this. And let's stir this up. And usually what I like to do is let this sit for a little bit so that it can mash up, get mixed in real well, and turn into the kind of soft steaks that I actually want to make.
Okay.
Now, Curtis,
I can
put
go
those
ahead
onions
and put
in,
these
right in here with
onions
this.
in. Okay.
Yes.
And see, we get the, I guess I can use this. No. It goes in there.
Okay, go right on. Put that there.
I was kind of fast on the draw.
You was moving, brother. You was moving, but that's okay.
I guess it's just in front of me.
That's
so.
okay, because guess what? Let's push those in there. What we're going to do is we want to give these onions to this steak. Now,
So this is not. This is something you don't want to do.
Yeah, yeah. If you saw that, scratch it.
Just scratch it.
Scratch it. That's not what we want to. That's not what we're trying to portray.
We'll keep the cameras rolling, but just don't do that. Okay.
Okay. All righty. Got a couple more here.
Now, I guess something goes in here, but I don't know what.
The burgers are going to go in here.
Oh, the burgers. Okay.
So go ahead and move that around in your pan.
It's a good thing you're in this kitchen with me,
Now,
honey.
usually what I do is I actually put in, like I said, the instant oats help to give us the texture we need to have so this can stick together. And if you find that when you're making it up that it's still not enough liquid in it, we also have just a little bit of water we can put in, because we have the seasonings in there also. And I'm going to tell you right now, I usually like to sit for a while, Curtis, before I make these up. But because we're on television and we don't have the time, not gel, but it will actually stick together. The instant oats will actually make a gel, like a texture, like an egg white.
Okay.
And it will help the burgers to stick together.
Stay together.
Okay. And normally, once again, those who've been watching Abundant Living know that when we make these steaks up, that we do not just make up a patty. We just actually scoop it. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some of the patty mix, and we're going to put it right here in the pan. You want to turn it up for me?
Okay.
All right.
About 350.
That's fine. And what's going to happen is as they cook, they're going to stick together. Okay. Got that up high?
Mm-hmm.
And
I hear the sizzling.
You hear that sizzling?
I hear the sizzling.
And don't be alarmed if you think that it's not going to stick, because I'm going to tell you right now, it really is. There's two things you can do with this. Number one is you can put your lid on top, and that will help it to cook on the inside. But there's something else that we're going to be doing with this also as well. And that is, after we finish everything, we're going to put it inside the oven, and we're going to put the sauce. If you will let them see that, we're going to put that sauce, which is right here, the mushroom soup.
Right here? Okay.
We're going to put that sauce over top of it in the oven.
Not right now, though.
No. Do not put that on top of that, Mr. Akins.
Yes, Sister
You're just
Akins.
getting so excited right now, I could tell.
I'm just really kind of pumped up here.
And as it cooks.
So this is going to actually stay together here.
It's going to stay together. You're going to just take and move them together. Okay.
Now this is, again, in your latest cookbook, Global Vegetarian?
No, this is actually in our revised
Oh, it's
cookbook.
in your revised.
Yeah.
The first book was been revised.
Cookbook.
Okay.
Okay. Make the nice big burgers. Okay. And what we're going to do is, I like to serve this up. Now, once again, we're going to let these get done. I usually put the lid on top, let it simmer a little bit. And the instant oats and the old-fashioned oats, along with the liquid that's in it, is going to cause us to form into a patty, a soft patty. Then when the patties are done, because it's not going to be done all the way through, you're just going to have that brownness on both sides. Then you're going to put it inside of a casserole dish, and this is a 9 by 13 casserole dish. And what I usually do is take this, by the way, I said mushroom soup. Now, a lot of you know that most of the mushroom soups on the market has a lot of sodium in it. So I really buy those mushroom soups that actually have, they say, less salt, or they have different ones called Healthy Choice. They don't have hardly any salt in it whatsoever, and I use that. Now we're going to put some water in with it so that it's not quite as thick, and we're going to just stir it up a little bit. Now also, by the way, in our Global Vegetarian Cookbook, we have our own mushroom sauce that we make from scratch, okay? For those of you who are concerned about that.
Now, should we put the lid on this now?
What we're going to do is I'm going to move into the next recipe, and then we're going to put the lid on, and what will happen is they'll get a chance to see this product at the end of our program, okay? But while we're doing that, let me just check on our collard greens and see how things are going.
Check on the collard greens.
All right.
Oh,
wow, they have really cut down.
Okay.
They've cut down a whole lot
Now,
from where they were.
You cook these for, what, about maybe
45 minutes?
45 minutes.
45 minutes. And if the water begins to drain out, what you want to do is you want to add a little bit more water. You want to add hot water, however, hot water to it, not cold water. At this point, I'm going to go ahead on and pour in. Remember now, I did not do my Bragg's yet. I'm going to go ahead and put the Bragg's liquid on top.
Now, that would give it
That
seasoning, the hickory
flavor,
taste,
right.
okay?
And I'm going to put in for aesthetics, just to make it look like it has meat in it. We're going to put just a little bit of the soy bacon bits in it, and then I'm going to use the rest of it for a garnish at the end, okay? So just a small amount.
And that's purchased at any major food store chain?
That's right, that's right. Doesn't that look good?
Yes.
Okay. Now, that's cooking. We're going to put a lid on top of our mushrooms, and we're going to go to the other part of this, which is actually our dessert for this program today, and that is, let's look at those ingredients. Well, it's called a no-bake banana pudding, and it calls for 2 boxes of Morinu tofu soft, 2 tablespoons of honey, 1 teaspoon of vanilla flavoring, 1 teaspoon of banana flavoring, 2 packages of Morinu vanilla pudding mix, 2 bananas, 1 package of vanilla wafers.